November 16th, 2014, from Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It was the Philadelphia Eagles at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers won the toss, and they elected to receive, so they would get the ball first, and they would start off on their own 16-yard line. Rodgers hit Jordy Nelson for an 8-yard pass to open up the game, and then he went to Cobb for a 3-yard pass. Now it was first down on the 27, and Aaron Rodgers dropped back to pass, and he hit Jordy Nelson for a 64-yard reception, and that brought the ball all the way down to the 9-yard line for first and goal. But then 3 straight incomplete passes would bring out Mason Crosby to attempt a 27-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Packers put the first points on the scoreboard with their first possession of this game, as it was now Green Bay 3, Philadelphia 0. So now the Eagles would take over for the first time in this game. They started off on their own 26. They did pick up a first down, but they would end up punting the ball after 6 plays. So now the Packers took over for the second time in this game, and there was about 10.5 minutes left in the first. They started off this possession on their own 12-yard line. They were faced with 3rd and 9 from the 13, and Aaron Rodgers hit Randall Cobb for a 22-yard reception, and that made it a first down on the 35. Then on 2nd and 7 from the 38, Aaron Rodgers hit Corliss for an 11-yard pass that made it a first down on the 49. They then ended up going backwards as they fumbled the ball, but Rodgers recovered, and Connor Barwin was there to tackle him, but heads up by recovering the ball, and that would make it 2nd and 24, and then they were faced with 2nd and 23, and offsides made it 3rd and 23, and offsides made it 3rd and 18 from the 41. Aaron Rodgers dropped back, and he hit Corliss for a 24-yard pass to pick up the first down. So now it was a first down in Philadelphia territory on the 35, but then they were faced with 3rd and 10 from the 35 of Philadelphia. Aaron Rodgers drops back, and he found Rodgers for a 19-yard pass that made it a first down in the red zone on the Philadelphia 16. Eddie Lacy then ran for 10 yards, and it was now first and goal on the 6, and Aaron Rodgers dropped back, and he found Davante Adams for a 6-yard touchdown pass that made it 10-0 Packers over the Eagles. So now the Eagles would take over for the second time in this game. There was about 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. They had the ball on their own 30. Then they were faced with 3rd and 6, and Mark Sanchez was sacked by Neal for a 9-yard loss. And so now they would have to punt the ball. And on the punt, Micah Hyde returned the punt 75 yards for the touchdown. And it was now 17-0 Green Bay over Philadelphia. Micah Hyde. And so now the Eagles would get the ball with 2 minutes left in the game. They had it on their own 41. And they would bring the ball into Green Bay territory. They're actually up in the red zone, and they were faced with 3rd and 2 on the 5-yard line, but then Mark Sanchez was sacked by Clay Matthews for a 10-yard loss, and the Eagles would be forced to settle for a 33-yard field goal attempt by Parkey. It was up, it was good, and the Eagles got on the scoreboard, but they trailed the Packers by 14 points with the score Green Bay 17, Philadelphia 3. So now the Packers would take over with about 13 minutes left in the second quarter. They had the ball on their own 20. On 2nd and 4 from the 26, Rodgers hit Cobb for a 14-yard pass. There wasn't offsides on the defense, but they declined it, and it was a first down on the Green Bay 40. Rodgers then hit Randall Cobb for a 22-yard pass, and it was now a first down in Philadelphia territory at the 38. After an incomplete pass, Rodgers then hit Cobb for an 11-yard pass to make it another first down, now at the 27. So it's 1st and 10 on the Philly 27 for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers drops back to pass, and he hit Jordy Nelson for a 27-yard touchdown pass as he went for the Lambeau leap, and it was now 24-3 Green Bay over Philadelphia as they extended their lead to 3 touchdowns. So now the Eagles took over with less than 11 minutes left in the first half. They had the ball on their own 20. They did get into Green Bay territory, but their drive stalled on the 48, and they'd be forced to punt the ball back to the Pack. So now the Packers took over with less than 8 minutes on the clock. They had the ball on their own 20. They would be faced with 3rd and 7 from the 23, and Aaron Rodgers dropped back, and he found Randall Cobb, and here comes Randall for the 13-yard reception and the first down. So now it's first down on the 36, and Aaron Rodgers ended up running for 16 yards on the scramble, and it was a first down on the Philly 48. So then on 2nd and 10 from the 48, Rodgers hit Randall Cobb for an 11-yard pass to make it a first down on the Philly 37. Then on 2nd and 2 from the 29, Aaron Rodgers went to Jordy Nelson for a 10-yard pass to make it a first down in the red zone on the 19. Then on first down, Rodgers went to Jordy, but it was incomplete, but it was pass interference against the defense, and it was now 1st and goal on the 1, and Eddie Lacy punched it in from a yard out, and it was now 30-3, Green Bay over Philadelphia. So the Packers now are up by 27 points with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. The Eagles now had the ball on their own 20. They picked up a first down. And then on 3rd and 12 from the 30, they picked up another first down. Zach Ertz, both times picking up these first downs. Then on first down from the 45, Matthews got a first down on a 40-yard pass from Sanchez. And it was now first down on the 15 in the red zone, but 3 incomplete passes by Mark Sanchez would bring out Parkey to attempt his second field goal of the game. It was a 33-yarder. It was up. It was good. And it was now 30-6. Green Bay over Philly as this game went to halftime. So at halftime the score, Green Bay 30, Philadelphia 6. So now to start the second half, the Eagles would have the ball. They would start off on their own 20, and they would end up actually getting into Green Bay territory when on 3rd and 3 from the 27, Mark Sanchez hit Jeremy Maclin for a 26-yard pass that brought it to the 47 of the Packers. But on 2nd and 5 from the 42, Mark Sanchez fumbled the ball. Nick Perry recovered, and it was Green Bay's ball on their own 45 with 13 minutes left in the third. They did go 3 and out, and they punted it, and the Eagles now had the ball, but they would go 3 and out as well, and so they punted it right back to the Pack, who now took over on their own 37 with about 12 minutes left in the third. Aaron Rodgers dropped back, and he ended up scrambling for 16 yards in the first down that brought the ball to midfield and into Philly territory at the 47. So now it's 3rd and 7 on the Philly 44. Aaron Rodgers now found Davante Adams for a 7-yard pass, and that made it a first down on the Philly 37. Then on first down from the 37, Aaron Rodgers hit Randall Cobb for a 20-yard pass, and it was now a first down in the red zone at the Philly 17. They lost a couple yards on first down, but then on 2nd and 12, Starks picked up 4, and that brought up 3rd and 8, and an incomplete pass would bring out Mason Crosby to attempt the 33-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and that 33-yard field goal made it 33-6, Packers over the Eagles. So now the Eagles would take over with about 8 minutes left in the third quarter. They had the ball on their own 26. They would end up faced with a 3rd and 1, and LaShawn Shady McCoy ran for 2 yards to make it a first down on the Philly 38. So now it would be they'd be faced with a 2nd and 10 on the 48 of Philadelphia for the Eagles. And Sanchez would drop back to pass, and Julius Peppers intercepted the ball, and he ran it 52 yards all the way to the end zone for the pick six. Julius Peppers, and it was now 39-6, Packers over the Eagles. So now the Eagles would take over on their own 20 with about 6 minutes left in the third. And they would end up picking up a first down on 2nd and 3 from the 27 when McCoy ran for 13 yards. And then Sanchez hit Cooper for 14 yards to bring it out to midfield into the Green Bay 46. They were then faced with a 3rd and 4. And an incomplete pass brought up 4th and 4 from the 40 of Green Bay for the Eagles. And they went for it. And Sanchez hit Ertz for a 22-yard pass. There was a penalty on the Packers, but it was declined. It was now a first down for the Eagles in the red zone on the Green Bay 18. They ended up with 3rd and 2 on the 10, and Sanchez dropped back, and he found Jordan Matthews for a 10-yard touchdown pass, and it was now 39-13. So now the Eagles, with the touchdown, had now cut the lead to 26. And so now the Packers had the ball with about 2.5 minutes left before the end of the third. They had it on their own 20. They ended up picking up a first down, and on first down from the 31, Lacy ran for 37 yards all the way across midfield into the Philadelphia 32. Starks then ran for no gain, and the third quarter came to a close. So after 3 quarters of play, the score was Green Bay 39, Philadelphia 13. So now to open up the fourth quarter, the Packers had the ball on the Philadelphia 32. And after an incomplete pass, it would be 3rd and 10 from the 32. Aaron Rodgers dropped back to pass, and he dumped it off to Lacy, and Lacy took it 32 yards for the touchdown. And it was now 46-13, Green Bay over Philadelphia. So now the Eagles would take over on their own 20, still with about 14 and a half minutes left in the fourth. Then on 3rd and 4 from the 26, Mark Sanchez was intercepted by Williams, and the Packers would take back over, now with 14 minutes still on the clock on the Philadelphia 36. They wouldn't pick up a first down, and they would bring out Mason Crosby to attempt a 50-yard field goal. It was up, and it was no good. So the score remained 46-13, Packers over the Eagles. So now the Eagles took over on their own 40-yard line with about 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then on 2nd and 6 from the 44, Sanchez hit Matthews for a 16-yard pass that brought the ball into Green Bay territory at the 40. A 6-yard run by McCoy set up 2nd and 4 from the 34. Mark Sanchez then fumbled. It was recovered by Hayward, and Hayward took it 49 yards for the touchdown, Packers. So it was now 53-43, Green Bay over Philadelphia as they extended their lead to 40 points. So now the Eagles would take over with 10.5 minutes left in the fourth. They had the ball on their own 20, and they would march down the field and into Green Bay territory. And on first down from the Green Bay 20, Sanchez threw a 20-yard touchdown pass to Jeremy Maclin that made the score 53-20 as the Eagles now cut the lead to 33. The Packers now had the ball with about 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They had the ball on their own 22. They wouldn't really get too far, but they did burn off 4.5 minutes off the clock about. And so then they ended up punting the ball, but the punt was blocked, and it was recovered by the Eagles. So now the Eagles had the ball on the 5-yard line of Green Bay. It was 1st and goal with 3 minutes left, but they would not get in the end zone. They were actually faced with a 4th and 4, 4th and goal, and they ended up turning the ball over on downs. So they couldn't get into the end zone even though they started off with the ball on the 5. They actually picked up 3 yards and it was even on the 2-yard line, but then they went backwards and an incomplete pass and then went backwards again. So they turned the ball over on downs, and now with less than 2 minutes left on the clock, Matt Flynn took 3 knees, and this game came to a close with the final score, Green Bay 53, Philadelphia 20. And with the win, the Packers are now 7-3. They're undefeated in Lambeau Field in this season. The Eagles are also 7-3 with the loss, and they're 2-3 on the road. A big win for the Packers, too, especially with that Detroit loss. And Aaron Rodgers is now 22 for 36 with 341 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had 32 rushing yards off of 3 carries. Mark Sanchez was 26 for 44 with 346 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. The leading rusher in this game was LaShawn Shady McCoy with 23 carries for 88 yards. Lacy had 69 yards off of 10 carries with 1 touchdown for an average of 6.9 yards per carry. The leading receiver was Randall Cobb. He's a berserker. He had 129 yards off of 10 receptions. Jordy Nelson had 109 yards off of 4 receptions, one of which was for a touchdown. Lacy also had 45 yards off of 3 receptions and a touchdown as well to go with those rushing yards that he had. The leading receiver for the Eagles was Matthews with 107 yards off of 5 receptions, and Maclin had 93 yards off of 9 receptions, and they each had 1 touchdown. And on defense, the leading tackler in this game was Morgan Burnett for the Packers. He had 10 tackles. Clinton Dix had 8 tackles. He was the second leading tackler. Clay Matthews had a sack. He had 5 tackles as well. Goyne had a sack, and Neal had a sack. Those were the 3 sacks for the Pack. And there was 1 sack for the Eagles. That was for Curry. The Eagles didn't have any interceptions in this game. Aaron Rodgers was nearly perfect. Julius Peppers had a sack for the touchdown, that pick six, and Williams also had a sack, and those were the 2 sacks for the Packers. So the Packers win big at home in Lambeau Field as they blow out the Eagles, and they win this game by 33 points with the final score, Green Bay 53, Philadelphia 20.